Hi, I'm here with Kelly Robeson, who took the leap earlier this year. How you doing, Kelly?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing excellent. Yeah, what's your musical background? How did you get into music, and what were you doing before the leap?
Oh God. Prior to the leap, I actually did the online program with Icon Collective. So that actually was like the first thing to really jumpstart me. I got into like music production, I guess like 4 years ago. But I like in the sense of like I saw like a female DJ and I was like, oh cool, I want to do that. So I started DJing and then was like, oh, I guess I have to like also produce too since I want to be an artist. But the DJ thing like took off really fast and like started taking up a ton of my time and I would like mess with production like a little bit every day, but just literally had no idea what I was doing. And then I guess in October of 2018, yeah, October 2018 is when I started Icon. So right after I graduated, or I guess a year after I graduated college, I finally wore my parents down and I was like this isn't a phase, mom. Like so they actually helped me out with Icon, which was great. And I had a really great experience, but like it was like all class stuff, it was like it was very informative. Like I learned literally so much. My production went from like basically non-existent to like, I was completing tracks rarely, but I was, and mostly for assignments, so I didn't really love them. And then each quarter I'd had a mentor final. I guess you have like a mentor every quarter, and you have to have like a final track for them. So I was finishing those songs, but it was like a quarter is like almost 3 months. So I guess I was like really finishing a song I was happy with like every 3 months, and even sometimes I wasn't happy with them. So
Hmm.
and then after Icon, I guess I finished that in like March of 2020. So like this year, but I think I did the leap at the end of May or maybe beginning of June. I can't remember. Or maybe it was the beginning of May. So for like a couple months, I was like, oh, this is great. Like I don't have school to like take up all my time. Because a lot of times I would like go online and like do all my programs. And like the last thing I wanted to do was like work on my own production. I was like, I've been
Right.
staring at a screen for the entire day and sitting in Ableton doing all of this like nitpicky or like really tedious and difficult stuff. So I don't want to do that. But I was like, great, I'm not gonna have school. I'm gonna be like more inclined to just produce music. And I think between March and when I started the leap, I probably made like two solid drafts, just like exploring a different genre of music, and then one track that I actually like released. But it was like on SoundCloud. It was a remix that I didn't have the rights for, so I just like bootlegged it and released it. But I really wasn't finishing music like I thought that I would. And it was like still taking a lot for me to like
Right.
sit down and I'd have to like follow a structure. Like I'd pick a song that I liked, be like, oh, I'm gonna follow this structure. And then yeah, it wasn't it wasn't easy.
I see.
And then once I did finish something, I would be like, wow, I feel so great and accomplished. And then it would take me a million years to start something new because I was like, well, I just finished something. So starting something new is exhausting and terrifying at the same time.
Yeah, it definitely can be. What were like your biggest? Would you say those were your biggest struggles? It's just like starting something new and like getting new ideas going.
That and like I felt like I really couldn't start a song without having some idea of what I wanted it to be. So I would like hear something and be like, oh, I want to make something like that. But then it would be like more frustrating because I'm like trying to make something like that while it also not be like that. And then I would just end up like using those tracks like a template. And then when I finished that, it would take me, I would take me forever to find something else that I like felt like I could follow. So I guess one, just sitting down and making myself do it like habitually was a struggle. And two, like just going in and like making something with no like idea was like a very daunting for me. So I literally never did that.
Right, right.
So I'd have to like have an idea and it was like frustrating because I didn't always like have an idea.
Right. So what how did you find the leap and what kind of drew you to it?
I actually had told myself for the leap prior. I think it was in like the leap 7, I think, for like whenever he started, Mike Monday started announcing it, I was always like, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. But then I kept like coming up with excuses like, oh, I'm still in school, or oh, I have work in school, maybe when I'm done with school. Because I've actually the first time I bought a Mike Monday program was like at the very end of 2016.
Hmm.
I had like reached out to another local DJ. I was DJing. I just started DJing at the end of 2016, my senior year of college at UGA, and I reached out to a guy for like advice who had produced his own music, and he ended up like hitting me up later and was like, hey, like I got the access to this like class, you should check it out. And it was one of Mike Mondays. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was like the original like unique style generator, like some 7-day
Yeah.
like thing. And I was like, that's really cool, I'm gonna check that out. So instead of actually doing that course, I got on his site, and like he was having some crazy deal. It was like um Start Now Finish Fast, like at the very end of the year, was starting like in January of 2017. It was the Start Now Finish Fast program. And I had been making a ton of money DJing, so I think he was like offering it for only like $300. So I was like, I'm just gonna do this. Like I'm just gonna do this. Like I know I really want to do this. I've got the whole DJ thing down. I'm like, I was getting booked left and right, which was great. So I was like, I just need to do this. And so I actually started Start Now Finish Fast in January of 2017 with like no knowledge of Ableton. So it was actually very interesting to do that. But I actually had some like really great, I guess not great songs. Like it's really funny for me to go back and listen to those, but like my mentality was just like so much better. I like started the whole, meditation thing, the perfect average day, like loved those exercises. Like I was so excited I forced myself to finish my schoolwork every day. So I was like, you gotta finish your schoolwork and then you can do the Mike Monday stuff. And loved Start Now Finish Fast. And then I was like on it for like 3 months, I think. And then big catastrophic life event, not even catastrophic, but it was just like a big life event. I kind of fell off. And then in the following, like in the rest of 2017 and like into 2018, I would like restart the program. And I'd also gotten make an album with Mike Part 1. So I'd gotten that one as well, because I was like, oh, I can do both at the same time. It'll be great. And I was like super on it for the first couple of months of Start Now Finish Fast. So I was like, this is amazing. I feel so productive. I feel like I use my time so well. Like I was like a robot. Like everybody's like, how do you do all the things that you do? And I'm like, you guys, like I feel so good. But then yeah, like life got in the way, and I like got in a bad relationship, and it was just kind of, I would restart the program or like restart the like little methods or little things he would encourage, and then like fall off again and start and then fall off again. And then finally got out of that relationship, was starting to get my life together at the end of 2019, and had told myself that right when Icon ended, because a lot of the last quarters they were like, what's your plan, what's your plan, what's your plan? And I was like, Mike Monday, like I'm gonna restart those programs, like I'm gonna do Start Now Finish Fast again, I'm gonna do Make an Album with Mike, like I'm gonna do them. And I'd gotten a couple of other ones like Grow Your Tribe and like whatever, just over time when he like offered stuff like that. But then when I literally read like every single one of his emails. I like keep them unread because I'm like, I know this like looks like a long email, but it's gonna be really good if you read this. So like I try to make a point to read all of them. And he had been like pushing the leap. So I had said I was gonna do like the Leap 6 or whatever one it was, and then I didn't, because I was like, I'll wait. And I promised myself, I was like, next time around, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna do it. Now's the time, now or never, especially all the stuff that he's like, you always think you're gonna have more time later, but you never do. So just do it. So I did, and it was right as like quarantine was hot and heavy, and I was like, you know what? Unemployment's great right now. I'm just gonna like, I'm not gonna miss this money. I know I'm not, because it's Mike Monday, and every single time I've done one of his programs, I'm like, this is amazing. So I did it, took the leap. Like the first time, the moment he announced it, I was like, I like had that moment of hesitation. Then I was like, no, just do it. Just do it.
And you did it.
I did it. I really did it.
That's great. So what are some, since taking it, what are some like specific things the leap has helped you do and kind of overcome?
Every single like issue that I previously stated. Like I have not since taking the leap, I haven't like made a single track that follows like some sort of structure, or like I haven't heard something and been like, oh, I'm gonna make that. I have generated like infinitely more music than I've ever made in my entire life, ever. And like I decided on like a 6-week release cycle. I released the person I'm dating is like a videographer and video editor, so I was like, well, we should do music videos. So we did that for like a remix that I did that I began prior to finishing the leap. And then we were like, let's just do one every 6 weeks, like 6-week release cycle. I'll have a new track. And where like it's so nice because it's not like, oh, I have 6 weeks to make the next track. It's like, which one am I gonna pick? Like I have so much that's like finished, so much that I could, or that's almost finished, you know, that like I have just a huge backlog of music that I would feel absolutely comfortable releasing. Whereas like before I would make music and be like, okay, good, I finished this. I would never let another human listen to this. I'm gonna put it away, you know? There's just so much in there. And like even if I'm doing like the minimum, I still like feel super productive. So like some days like I try to do like one step in each section like every day ideally, because honestly it really doesn't take that long. You
No.
know, maybe I can give up like an hour and a half, maybe like I could probably do it in less. Like I could do a splurge in like less than 10 minutes now. And like I'm like, okay, you're gonna do a splurge every day, you're gonna do a discover session, you're gonna do a off session, you're gonna do a done session. And then like doing all of those probably takes up like 2 hours at the most of my day. So it's like I'm generating just like so much music, like in a way that feels like very incremental, but it's like constantly pushing stuff through.
How much do you think you finished since you started?
Oh my gosh. I have Trello pulled up right now. Just like so much. I haven't been releasing, but only because I have like that cycle now and I'm wanting to do the videos. But like I have stuff that I couldn't even tell you. I guess I have stuff in the sketchbook that like has gone all the way through and then I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. So I put it back. So it's technically done. I mean, I honestly don't know. Probably like 30, 30 tracks, which like is so much. Like it's nothing compared to what I have like in progress. Like I probably have like I have literally no idea. Like I probably have over 200 tracks like in Trello,
Wow.
which is just yeah, it's crazy because it's only been I guess a couple months since the program ended. Whereas like before I was like, oh my gosh, I can finish one track a month and then I'll start a new one. Now I have like a bunch of stuff in progress that I'm like constantly working on and just like shoveling through. It's like
So
amazing.
what'd you say you'd finished before? You had like 2 tracks up on SoundCloud and a remix?
Yeah, I had only one original track on Spotify. I had like two remixes up on SoundCloud, maybe three. I had three remixes up on SoundCloud. And that was like really it. Like I'd done like a bunch of beat packs for a couple people, but like with like stupid beats that didn't really matter to me. That also like took way too long. Cause like in August, I was like, I need to get my life together. Last August prior to the leap. And so I did for that whole month, I did like I'm gonna make a beat every day, which was like I guess just a splurge, but it would take me like forever. Just be like, I have to finish this. So then like once I did that, I probably like never made another beat again. I was like, I have 31 beats. That's it, I'm done. Because I'm in Atlanta and I have a lot of friends who like want to be or like who like want beats. And I'm always like, yeah, great practice. Great practice. I'll do it for you. So I had a couple of those, but like my own music or music that I actually liked, probably like 4 or 5 tracks that I've put out into the world
So from
in the
like
4 years.
4 or 5 and 4 years to what, like 30 and I guess like 3 or 4 months?
Yeah,
That's
it's like it's hilarious to me, honestly. Like I'm just like,
wild.
this is hilarious. Like ask me like a year ago and tell me that I would have done all this or that I would have the releases lined up that I do, I would have been like, you're crazy, bro. Like I don't know who is that. I don't know who she is.
It's wild. That's
It
absolutely
is.
wild. Congrats on that. That sounds like you're in a great spot.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
So,
Really exciting.
have your goals changed with what you want to do with music or like what you think is possible since taking the leap?
They actually have changed just because of the type of music that I was generating. So I was previously DJing like primarily like bassline house, tech house, and like drum and bass. So I was like, I'm gonna make drum and bass music. Like that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I love to play. That's what I'm like getting known for. So I'm gonna do that. And I like made a couple of drum and bass tracks and a couple that I really liked because my last quarter at Icon, my mentor was actually a drum and bass artist, so he was super helpful. And I was like, I'll just do drum and bass. And I liked making it, but I didn't love making it, I guess. I was like, yeah, I can do this. Like, this is what I love to play, but it's not what I love to make. So I guess it's changed for the leap in the sense that, like, the type of music I'm making is just like totally and completely vastly different than what I thought I was gonna make. Like I haven't made like, I think I have a couple like drum and bass like splurges, but I have no desire to like continue on with them. I'm just like, the stuff I'm making is like so different. And I've been getting like great feedback. Like the track I'm about to release, like I've just been getting like amazing feedback on the stuff that I'm making now,
That's awesome.
which is like most of the critiques are like tidying up, you know, vocals or whatever. But like production wise in my tracks, I still struggle with the vocal stuff because like I'm putting my own voice on it and that's just like a mental game. But production wise, just like I have like loved the stuff that I've been making. Not all of it, obviously there's a lot of crap in there, but I've like come up with some really, really cool stuff by simply not like thinking about it when I do it, or like having to work with a weird sound. Like the one I'm about to release, like I remember doing the splurge and being like I'd clicked on a random preset, I guess, in like Serum, and I was like, this noise is disgusting. Like, what am I gonna do with this noise? Like, and it's like one of my favorite tracks I've made so far. So
So it started with a noise you hated, and then you
yeah,
splurged, and it turned into something that you now love.
yeah, I really love it. I really, really love it. I really love this track. So I'm just like, production wise, like flawless, chef's kiss. Like it's amazing. Vocals still need work. I'm probably gonna be working on the vocals until the day it's released, but that's just my own thing.
Nice. That's awesome. Great to hear that you got a cool idea from the preset splurge.
Yeah.
What's the rest of your life been like since taking the leap? Like, do you find you're more excited to work on music? Is it easier?
Yeah. There was a brief period where like I was like just because I guess that like, so at first I was like, okay, I'm doing one of these every day, and it was so easy because I was done so quickly, and because I didn't care, like I didn't care and I didn't have an idea. Like I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna listen to this and whatever happens, happens. And I would just do it and be done with it and not care. You know, I'm just like, oh, okay, like I just got through this draft session. I'm done for the day. Like that's it. That's all I have to do. Because I can't listen to it for the next 3 to 7 days. So that made it like really easy. There was like a period of time, which to be fair, I also started a full-time job. So I was like life adjustment, and oh, my dog. I was like, what is he doing? Life adjustment, and like it was, you know, I went from not having a job to working from 7 to 3 every day. So I was like, what the hell am I gonna do? But so there was a period of time then where even though I got off so early, I was just like super tired, and like the last thing I wanted to do was like, what is the style of this song? Like do a discover session. I was like, my brain doesn't work right now. Like that's just not good. Like, and it became like hard to sit down and do it. But then I like gave myself a couple weeks to adjust, and then I was like, all right, you've adjusted, like stop being a baby, like just dive right back into it. So I did basically for like a week. I was like, okay, all you have to do is like wake up a little bit earlier. So I would like wake up a little bit earlier and then like do all the like daily stuff that Start Not Finish Fast taught me, which was like write in a journal, meditate for at least 10 minutes, and then do a splurge before I went to work. And that like really put me like right back on track, because then I got to the point where I was like, oh, I've already done a splurge. Like I don't have to do a splurge when I get back from work. I just have to do like a draft session, or I just have to do like a done session, or I just have to do like a discover session. Like, and then it became like exciting again. So now I wake up a little bit earlier, do a
Mhm.
splurge, because they really do take me like 10 minutes sometimes. You know, it's just like boom, boom, boom. Do it all before work, get to work at 7, work my whole day, and then come home and I'm like, all I have to do is this, and that's all I have to do. And because it sounds like, I mean, again, splurge takes less than 10 minutes, but it's still like another thing in my head that I have to do. Now that I know I don't have to do it, I usually end up doing more. So I'm like, oh, I just had to do a drafting session, and I'm like, okay, well that was great, and now I'm like in the zone, so let me do a done session. It's like, oh, I'm not supposed to do a discover session until tomorrow, but that went really well too, so I'm gonna do a discover session. And like, and then I'll be like, okay, now I'm gonna work on lyrics or something, because I ended up like adding my own steps in Trello, which is like great because he gives you like those baseline steps, and then you can just kind of customize it however you want. So now once my songs get through done before going to release, they go to like, okay, now you're gonna work on like lyrics or a top line. And then after that, once you've just like figured out what the top line is, it goes to like, okay, now you're gonna like record and cut those vocals and mix them all in, and then you move to release. So yeah, it's just like I feel like a machine, but not in the way that I felt like a machine 2 Augusts ago, where I was like a beat a day, like I just have to do it. I just have to do it. Like it was a daunting task. It was not exciting. It was very robotic. And with the leap, like I do feel like a machine, but like in a good way, because it's just like I know what I have to do. I'm excited to do it. And I know like when I'm done for the day. And it never feels like I haven't done enough. I mean, sometimes I'll like get through everything like really fast and do everything and be like, like I'm done for the day. This is weird. I feel like I haven't done anything. But then, there's like three more
Yeah.
tracks that I've like shuffled through the process. And it's just crazy. Like it's almost like you don't see anything happening and then all of a sudden everything's happening.
I know the
It's
feeling. It's
like I feel
crazy.
like I'm just like, ticking off the edges of these tracks or like fixing up little things. And then next thing I know, they're like all and done. And I'm like, wait a second. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the weirdest things. It's like you almost feel like nothing's happening, and then like you
Hmm.
wake up one day and you're like, I have a lot of tracks that are basically finished.
Yeah. And then I'm like, well, crap. Now what do I do with them? Because that's the great part too. Is like even if I don't really love the tracks, but I've gotten them like to a certain point, I'm like, I'm just gonna finish this and throw it back in the sketchbook. Like I just want it to be at the done phase, and then I realize that like I don't like it or it doesn't. I don't love it or like it doesn't really work, but I finished it. You know what I mean? Like it's done. So I'm just like, great. Like I'm gonna finish this and put it away and work on something new. And I've also totally done like, gotten a song into like the discover phase and like I'm listening to it and I'm like, I don't even like the song anymore. And that's the beauty of it. I can just throw it back in the sketchbook, pull a new one and move along.
Yeah, it's also interesting like when you set that minimum commitment where it's just like one splurge a day is all you really like have to do.
Hmm.
You end up doing more than if you were like, I need to do 4 hours every day, and then you
Yeah,
don't do anything. But
nothing.
if you're like, I just have to do 10 minutes, you end up doing like 4 hours. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens to me. Because I think that was another thing from either Start Now, Finish Fast or Make Album with Mike. He was like 3 achievable daily goals. Like that was one of his things from a prior lesson. I remember that because it was like 3 things that you can do rather than like making those big, long, daunting like tasks lists. And that's how I feel like about the leap because I'm like, okay, I get my splurge done first thing in the morning. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm done with that. And that's it. Like all I have to do when I get home is like either discover a draft or a done session. Like just one is all I have to do. But then I usually end up doing another or another because I only have that one to do.
Right. And then it's like easy, the weight's lifted, and you just like, oh, wait, I can keep working. Oh, this is great.
Yeah, this is great. I want to keep working because it's on like my coach me. Coach me was another thing I got from Mike Monday. I have like you have to splurge and you have to do like a discover or a draft as well. So I'm like, okay, but today I just have to splurge and then do a discover. Or today I have to splurge and then do a draft. Even though discovers technically count as a splurge, I tried not to because I want to generate new splurges almost every day if I can. And don't get me wrong, like I definitely skip days here and there. Like I didn't do anything yesterday because I allegedly was exposed to COVID. So I was like, oh, I have to put out a lot of fires today. But I like don't hate myself because I know I'm gonna do it again the next day.
Yeah,
Or if
it's
I take
once
a day or two off, I'm just like, it's just so easy to just like bang out a splurge and then you're just immediately back on it.
totally, totally. Well, it sounds like you've got some great momentum. You got some shows coming up too, right? Or you
Yeah, I
did.
actually I did. I really just don't think I'm positive at all. But in the event that I am, I would be missing a couple events. But most of them, like this month has just been like crazy. People just came out of nowhere, like, can you play this? Can you play this? Can you play this? And I was like, whoa, like, because I didn't make any effort to like stay relevant during COVID. Like I did a couple live streams, but like only when I was asked to, which I was just like a fair bit. But then, everything here is just starting to open up again and they're just like, hey, will you play this, will you play this? So I played like a Spanish party last weekend. I
Nice.
played the brunch every Sunday. I got asked to play at a pride event this Sunday. I'm like playing the after party for like Rez's show at the Motor Speedway next Saturday if I don't have COVID. And yeah, it's been wild. People are like hitting me up again.
That's great.
Yeah,
Congrats.
just
Hope you don't
a
have COVID.
little stressful. which is bad. I'm complaining about having gigs. That sounds so bad, but like it is. It's stressful. It's like knowing that it's coming up. It eats up my weekends now that I have a full time job. So I really have to like, because sometimes I'll be like so exhausted during the week that I'm just getting through the bare minimum, and then I'm like, okay, but it's fine. Like the weekend's coming, and I can like sit down and like finish this or like really work on these vocals that I need done by the song I released on Halloween, or I can like really whatever. But now that they're filling up with gigs, I'm like, I have no time for myself. But it's fine. Everything's fine.
Nice. Well, yeah, anything you want to add?
If you're thinking about doing the leap, just do the leap. I was like so skeptical and not skeptical because I like love Mike Monday. I've been such a huge like follower of him, I guess, since like 2016. But it really like it was just like such a monumental change without feeling like it was at all. And if anything, like music takes up less of my time now. So
Less time and finishing more.
yeah, it is really crazy. I'm very grateful for it. Tell
That's
Mike
wild.
thanks a million. I'll be back.
Awesome. Well, where can people find you on the interwebs?
Awesome. Yeah, on Instagram, I am at Kelly Romo 8, the number 8, because Kelly Romo was taken. And then SoundCloud, just Kelly Romo, and I'm actually on Spotify now. The last one I released, and my upcoming release will be on Spotify, plus the track I released like a year and a half ago. Kelly Romo, all the same. YouTube too. I'm directing people to YouTube a lot because my videos are going there. So we've had some really, really awesome music videos. 2 of them have already been released. Another one's coming up at the end of this month. So YouTube's going to be a big platform for me to try and push as well. And then Facebook, Kelly Romo as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Kelly. Really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me about that. Sounds like you're having a great time with it.
I am having the best time.
Cool. Well, I'll see you in the Slack world.
Awesome. Yeah, you will. Thanks, Luke.